It's a Wizards team that is built around, of course, Bradley Beal, who averaged the second most points last season, behind only Westbrook's former teammate, James Harden. As for John Wall, he will team up with Harden, who became the first player since Michael Jordan to average 30 points in 3 straight seasons. Joining us now, ESPN's NBA analyst, Matt Barnes. So, Matt, Russell Westbrook goes to Washington. John Wall is now a Rocket. Which team got the better end of this deal?
Linda, this was kind of a weird trade to me, and I think we're going to have to wait to see these guys actually play with their new team and develop the chemistry to really be able to tell who got the better end of the stick. To me, they're very similar players.
Chemistry is everything. I don't have to tell you, that's for sure. Now, in trading for Russell Westbrook, are the Wizards doing enough to contend for a title in the East?
I wouldn't say title, but I think they definitely have a chance to make the playoffs. They're putting the ball back in Russell Westbrook's hands, and we all know how great he is when he has the ball in his hands. And they're surrounding him with shooters. You know, Bradley Beal's at an all-star clip. They just gave Berton $80 million, and they got a young Thomas Bryant who stretches the floor. So anytime you could surround Russ with shooters and allow him to create for his teammates to get to the basket, you're going to do a good job.
Now, Matt, what if you're James Harden? Does this move entice you to stay in Houston now?
This is interesting because I think James's displeasure was with management, and they're doing what they can. I love the move by signing DeMarcus Cousins. I hope he can stay healthy. And then you get a John Wall coming off. He hasn't played since the end of 2018. So if you get a healthy John Wall and a healthy DeMarcus Cousins, that's a very solid lineup. That's going to stand well in either division. So I'm hoping that Wall and Boogie Cousins can stay healthy this year. And I'd love to see their Kentucky connection back together.
And it's not like James Harden. It's up to him. He's got 2 years left on this deal with the Rockets. Always great. Thank you, Matt Barnes. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Can you believe it?
Tyson Jones undercard and his own loss in that golf match with Peyton Manning against Phil Mickelson and Charles Barkley. But Curry told Trevor Noah there was a difference. He didn't get physically harmed. Now it's time for Curry to get back to his main gig. His team has added some youthful energy with number 2 pick James Wiseman. But the Warriors are more of an unknown than they have been in a while. And they won't have Klay Thompson, who's out with a torn Achilles.
I called it a gut punch, but it was emotional for sure because you want the best for him. He deserves the best that, this game has to offer. And, yeah, it's going to be a tough year without him. And next year, I hope to have him back.
It seems like you back in an underdog role. I'm just wondering how it hit you to hear that the Warriors might not have what they used to have.
I hear it. It doesn't sink home at all. So I didn't get big-headed when they picked us first in the league. Won't get overwhelmed that wherever they have us, coming into this season. I guess my mindset of never taking ourselves too seriously will pay off, hopefully.
Expectations for the Warriors have certainly decreased since Thompson's injury. The Warriors are currently 25-1 to win the title, which ranks 11th in the NBA. They had 8-1 odds prior to Thompson's injury.
From one Western Conference All-Star point guard to another, Chris Paul took to the microphone at his first media day with the Suns, not even 3 weeks after being traded from OKC. In joining Phoenix, Devin Booker finally gets a much-needed star running mate. The future Hall of Famer, Chris Paul, spoke about his new teammate and more.
First things first, too, I'm not just coming in here trying to teach everybody. Like, I'm his teammate. You know what I mean? Like, we here to hoop. Everyone always talks about like what I can teach Book or what I can teach some of these other guys, but they're teaching me at the same time too. I'm not James Naismith by no means. I've known Book for a long time, and he's not only like talented, like he's a dog. You know what I mean? Like he's really competitive. When we hoop and play against each other, we be about to fight. And they'll be about to fight a lot of times. I'm really excited.
Expectations are high in Phoenix, and for good reason. Chris Paul has usually made an instant impact, when he changes teams. All of his teams have seen their win percentage improve from the previous year in his protected, but it's the swap of point guards that has the NBA world abuzz. Wall joins Houston after spending his entire career in Washington, while Westbrook heads to D.C. after a disappointing brief stint with the Rockets. So Westbrook certainly has more accolades, but statistically speaking, Westbrook and Wall actually have posted similar numbers over their career. Wall ranks second among active players in assists per game, while Westbrook ranks fourth. They both turn the ball over quite a bit. And of course, both of them are two of the league's highest paid players on max contracts. Adrian Wojnarowski joins us now on SportsCenter. And Woj, how did this deal finally come together?
Linda, Washington and Houston had not talked really since before the draft about this trade until Rafael Stone, the Houston GM, Tommy Shepard in Washington, got on the phone this afternoon, and Thad Fouché, who is Russell Westbrook's agent with Wasserman, he was really a proponent of these sides just to get them talking again, and played a role. And once Stone and Shepard got on the phone today, they had a deal within a couple hours. John Wall for Russell Westbrook and that protected 2023 first-round pick that will go from Washington with Wall to the Rockets.
Let's talk about the potential rippling effect of this deal, okay? What does this trade mean for Bradley Beal's future in D.C.?
Well, he's got a year left on his deal. He can become a free agent in 2021, and it's going to be incumbent on the Wizards and Russell Westbrook, to make him want to stay. I know this about Russell Westbrook. There's been criticism of him about the kind of teammate he has been. And I know that's really bothered him because he takes great pride in being a great teammate. And I think most guys who played with him will vouch for that. And so I think he goes to Washington very motivated to build a good partnership with Bradley Beal. And there's a lot of the same going the other way to Houston with James Harden and John Wall. Wall's going to have to do a lot of the same there to help convince Harden that he wants to be in Houston long term.
Well, let's talk more about Harden. He has made no secret he can envision himself as a member of the Brooklyn Nets, but he's got 2 years left on his deal here. Could anything change? What has to happen for Harden to be locked in and staying in Houston so he would change his mind?
Well, Houston has to want to trade James Harden. They do not want to trade him. And having the 2 years left on his deal there does give them a little more of a cushion to take time and see if they can get John Wall back to his all-star form, and then see if that can help to sway James Harden. But certainly the Rockets' plan is to move forward, at least to start the season into the season, with a Wall-Harden backcourt.
Yeah, and the Rockets have made no secret what they would want in return for a trade for James Harden. And boy, it's a lot, as you know. Adrian Wojnarowski, thanks so much for being a part of SportsCenter.
Big time, potentially national championship caliber game.
Oh, my God, that was so fun. And by the way, that was the easiest 2 highlights I did on this show. Thank you. Seth Greenberg, you never have lost a step, that's for sure. Good stuff.
Thanks, Linda.
While the Lakers continue working on an extension for Anthony Davis, they now have an agreement to keep LeBron James in Los Angeles for 2 more years. James will get a 2-year max extension worth $85 million. That'll keep him with the Lakers through the 22-23.